Welcome, young mage. I'm not Rhino. My name's Phil, and most people know me as PapaMage. And what I'm going to do is a little bit of behind the scenes of Young Mage, and I'm going to start this off with the latest discussion about YouTube's demonetization. I have my notes here, and I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to explain to you what I have learned about the YouTube demonetization and why you shouldn't worry about it. Really, number one, the demonetization is about advertisers. So don't complain. Many of the big YouTube channels that are out there started long before there was any of the sharing of the advertising money. It was long before the partner program. So YouTube did that as a benefit for the larger channels, the ones that were making the money. They were doing kind of like some profit sharing. That was basically it. Now, YouTube needs the money, of course, for programmers, for equipment. I mean, how many videos are being produced every single day and being uploaded to YouTube? They need to have all of that money for hard drive space and bandwidth and all of that stuff. So it's a business, and you need to think of it as a business. They need to make a profit. They need to constantly refresh supplies. You can't be using really, really old technology when you're trying to do the world's biggest video storage system. So it has nothing to do, this whole demonetization has nothing to do with the small creators. And any of the small creators that think it is all about them, their ego is just way too big. It has nothing to do with small creators. They need to make the advertisers feel good about spending their marketing money on YouTube. They need to make sure that those people feel good about getting the clicks, getting revenue coming in, getting the eyeballs looking at those videos and those little banner ads and all that. That's what this all is about. It has nothing to do with the small YouTube channels. And on top of that, it has nothing to do with Logan Paul. I think that this whole demonetization has been a long time coming for another reason, which I'll get into in a moment. But Logan Paul just happened to be the most recent YouTube happening. And what I tell people is correlation does not equal causation. Just because it happened around the same time does not mean that it caused this to happen. So anybody that's saying that it's Logan Paul's fault, I think they are just highly misguided, really. YouTube has been wanting to get rid of a lot of these little bitty channels that do affiliate marketing, and they don't want advertisements to pop up on those little bitty channels. Now, this is people that are trying to use the power of YouTube to do search engine rankings and to do affiliate sales and stuff like that. And using YouTube is a very powerful way of doing that. It always has been. I think that that is getting much, much less, much smaller now. So, it's not going to knock all of them out, but it certainly is going to make it much, much smaller. So that's going to make YouTube more of the community that it was originally conceived to be, as opposed to a trick or a gimmick to get your product up online. So for the small YouTubers, I think that the opportunity really hasn't changed for them at all. Just because of this demonetization, I think the opportunity is still there. I still have one question about how this demonetization works, but I think I know what the answer is. And as I get more information, I'll let people know what I found out. But I don't think anything has really changed for the small YouTube channels. YouTube has always been about promoting good content. and good content that people want to watch. If you want to watch this, you want to subscribe to it, you'll want to click on the bell notification, you'll want to do that. Now, the channel is normally about the Magic game and the deck text and the interactions and stuff like that. So I'm not expecting you to click on subscribe just to see me. But if you like the behind the scenes stuff, we're going to be continuing to do some of that on the YoungMage channel. So you get an idea of how much work is involved in producing this channel. As long as you approach this whole doing a YouTube channel correctly, your opportunity has not changed one bit. Okay, the small YouTube opportunity to make money still hasn't changed. We're talking about a minuscule amount of money from this demonetization. I mean, really, it is a minuscule amount of money. We're talking probably on the average up to $8 a month. Okay, if your YouTube channel will break because you can't get that $8 a month, then there's a problem. There's a big problem. You're not looking at things correctly. Okay, it took Rhino 2.5 years, 2.5 years to get his first $100 from YouTube advertisements. Okay, 2.5 years to get that first $100 check. Now, granted, he loved getting that first $100 check. It was amazing. He was happy. He was ecstatic. It was like a big win for him. But he got money from other sources long before that check came in, and he got a lot more money than that $100. So that was just kind of like one of those, oh yay, I did it. So I think that a really, really small chunk of money will go away because of this demonetization. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, really. And the monetization really doesn't change a YouTuber's ability to make money. I mean, there are so many ways of making money. And, you know, I wanted to tell you there is a reason why we did a lot of the things that we did. And we planned pretty much from the beginning that we wanted to find a way of making money doing this. Now, we're not talking about getting rich here. You know, we're not talking about making millions. We're talking about justifying the amount of time that we spend on it, the equipment that we buy, the work that we put into it, because there's a real value in that. I mean, we do a lot of research. Rhino does a lot of research. We talk to people. We spend lots of time working on what we produce. And, you know, we want it to be right. We want it to be good. We want it to have a good feel. We want it to be appealing. And that takes a lot of time. And if you feel as though that time does not equal money, then there's a problem there. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to make at least enough money back to justify doing all of this work. So that's why we started up the Patreon. That's why we started doing some merchandise. We've been looking for sponsors and things like that, so that, you know, we feel good about continuing to do this content because we're getting more than just a positive response back. We're getting a supplement back to help, you know, take care of the cost of building the rig and the microphones and the doing all the computer work and spending the time on the research and all that. So there's the whole idea of having multiple streams of income. YouTube ads is just this little bitty bit. Patreon is a huge amount for this channel. We've got a sponsor, which is a huge amount, relatively speaking. They don't give us money, they give us product, and then that product can be used for showing the card game online, the pack openings, and building decks, and showing off Planeswalker decks, and all of that stuff to kind of give you a good idea, a good feel for what the game is all about. So that has been a huge help for us. And yes, his sponsor is Fodder Cannon Games. It is a shop in North Carolina. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive from us. So it's not our local game store, but we do a lot of work for them. They send us stuff, and so it's a good relationship. And of course, we're always looking for other sponsors. There's a lot of benefit to what we've done. Rhino did the Epilepsy Foundation fundraiser back in November, and he made $2,025 for the Epilepsy Foundation doing a live stream. So that has been a huge benefit for us and for him, because he has epilepsy and he suffers from it every day. So this is one of those things that kind of helps him out a lot. Doing these videos has been helping him, but making that little bit of money helps get us the better cameras for the streaming and better equipment and things like that, so we can do a better job as we go along. So I have been asked by a number of Magic the Gathering creators, YouTube creators, to do some videos on the behind the scenes, the how do you do SEO, how do you upload these videos right, and what are things are involved in all that. And I'm going to be putting these on Rhino's channel. I had thought about putting them on another channel, but really these are behind the scenes sort of things. These are things that the patrons really will like to see. They like to see where their money goes and what all is involved. So it's really kind of for the patrons and for those people that are really interested in how this YouTube stuff works. So in some cases it may seem very basic what we talk about. There are no tricks. There are no gimmicks. There's no shortcuts that we're talking about here. This is just thinking about things right, spending the time on the things that you need to spend time on. It does come down to having a plan and being consistent. As long as you have a plan and you're consistent, your channel will grow. Now, if you have a bad plan and you're consistently doing a bad plan, guess what? Your channel's still going to grow. It really will. But do you want it to grow faster? That sort of thing. So we're going to go over all the things that we do. We'll intersperse some of what all's involved in, doing the video and checking levels and all that stuff. And this will be all on the YoungMage channel as a behind the scenes videos. And I don't know how often I will do these. I have like 4 or 5 kind of somewhat sketched out right now, and I could do them all in one week, or I can spread them out over a month and intersperse them with some of the other things that we do on the channel. But really, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this and how interested you are in what we're talking about here. It's of course, it's something very interesting to us because we spend a lot of time making these YouTube videos, and we get a lot of positive feedback from Wizards of the Coast, the makers of the game, and they have sent Rhino some product in the past, and we appreciate that. And they feature his content up on their website from time to time. We really appreciate that. If you're wondering, is Rhino's channel been demonetized? The answer is no. We are barely above the minimum requirements. In order to get above those minimum requirements, you have to average 20,000 minutes of view time a month, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers. And he hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, 3 months ago or something like that. And his channel's really starting to take off. People really like what he's doing. They like the fact that he's doing it and not some big, strange old man like me. And we're going to keep it that way. But I will talk about the behind the scenes stuff. I do spend a lot of time helping him out with it. He is doing more and more as we continue to evolve the channel. We've got some big things coming up in the future. And really, even if you don't want to watch me, you really do want to watch him. So go ahead and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything. We do have a Facebook page that we are starting to work a little more with. And with the new Facebook Zero stuff coming out, starting to fiddle around with how we're going to work that out. He's got an Instagram page where we post some pictures. We try to post at least one a day. That doesn't always happen. And of course, the Twitter. He is at MTG _ YoungMage. I'm at MTG _ PapaMage. And if you want to know why I'm PapaMage, it is because at our local game store, when he went in and showed off that he had a YouTube channel as YoungMage, one of the guys there turned to me and said, "Oh, you must be PapaMage then." And that kind of stuck. So everybody there called me PapaMage, so it made sense that when I started posting on Twitter and stuff like that, I'm just referred to as PapaMage. And no, I'm not a Smurf. I do not have a red hat. I don't have a big bushy white beard. You can see I got a little one. So I'm not Papa Smurf. But I am referred to as PapaMage. And I also write for CardSphere. So I've got 2 articles up there right now, and I've got 2 more in the works. And they are more of community-oriented things as opposed to deck techs and things like that. Seems like other guys are in there, and they're really good at the deck techs. So I'll let them do that, and I'll do more of the community stuff and how life is living Magic. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And really, yeah, there's videos on the side that will interest you. We have patrons that we love so much. They have been awesome, and we have more that seem to sign up at least every month, and now we're starting to get them every couple of weeks. So if you really want to help out the channel, go ahead and take a look at the Patreon page. So until the next video, Rhino would say, Rhino out, but PapaMage is